Friday, it's March. It's puck time. I'm the Prez. Andrew McInnis and Alex Badass Smith from SportsMemo.com. Andrew shaved.
I got a big weekend lined up. So got to be fresh. I'm on TV tonight, Prez.
Doing what? Where? How? Who?
I'm doing play-by-play commentary for university championships for volleyball, and then I'm also doing some basketball media later on this weekend as well. So,
wow, we got a celebrity in our mix.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I love doing it.
Okay, boys, we got 8 games on the board. We got to go through them all really quick. Everybody, a big shout out to the people who bought Alex Smith's 5-star play yesterday. It was on Boston. He won. It was easy, never in doubt. Me, on the other hand, I sold a college basketball 5-star play, gave out a promo yesterday. Easiest winner ever. -3, went to overtime, won by 5. Doesn't get easier than that.
That's nice. As long as, like I said, the result at the end is what matters. And that's there's a lot of overtime games in college, too, I think last night. There's about 4 or 5 of them. So that's it's that time of year with March with hoops. So.
Yeah, good night of games last night. I actually watched some TV last night. I was telling you guys yesterday, I've just been reading and really keeping the TV down to a bare minimum. But I watched the Sam Cooke documentary on Netflix. My God, can that guy sing? Wow. Anyway,
I have to check that out.
It was really good. It was quick, too. It was about an hour and 15 minutes. It was really his life story and how he got murdered. And it was a lot to do with activism, you know. I mean, at the time when Sam Cooke was rocking and rolling, you know, we had kids being killed in Vietnam. We had women being downtrodden. The black community had just sort of rallied with their civil rights movement. Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Joe Brown. I mean, it was just such an amazing time in the history of the world, and they really highlighted it so beautifully. I highly recommend the Sam Cooke documentary. I don't even know, Andrew, if you've even heard of the guy.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I have. Maybe I've heard. I know the other names you said, but I don't know who that is.
Don't know much about history. Don't know much.
Teach me. Educate me.
You don't know that
Sam
song?
Cooke, definitely look up some Sam Cooke. I actually played in a band that did some Sam Cooke covers for a while. About this, that was like one of the last gigs I had before I switched over full time to sports. So.
Andrew,
not to be cliche, Prez, but I'm one of those kind of guys that if someone says, "Oh, like, do you know that guy?" I'm not gonna lie to you and say I do. I'd just rather learn, you know. So it's one of those
white.
Things. If you're in a room with people and they all know something and you don't know.
Yeah, right.
Andrew,
if you don't know, you don't know.
You're white, young, and live in the middle of nowhere. I expected you not to have heard of Sam Cooke. But you know his songs, dude. You know his songs. Chain Gang, Change Is Gonna Come, don't know much about history, Cupid, draw back your bow and let your arrows flow straight to
I like
my
the vibe
line
Prez is bringing today. I like it.
Okay, guys, let's get into it. Pittsburgh Penguins on the road in Buffalo. Alex, we'll go to you first. We got the home team at basically a pick'em here. The away team, the Penguins, are -120. Buffalo's lost 2 games in a row. They've lost 4 of their last. They've lost 6 of their last 7. Pittsburgh just beat Columbus on the road. The over and under in this game is 6.5. Look, the bottom line for me is this line seems a bit fishy. Pittsburgh is just so much a better team than Buffalo. They just won a road game, and now they're going into Buffalo. And they need to win as badly as Buffalo does. I got to lean towards the Penguins here. I mean, if this is a championship caliber team, surely they're going to win this game. Alex?
Yeah, like you said, these are games you have to win, and especially now. Like I mentioned it earlier this week about how Pittsburgh, their backs are against the wall, being in a wild card spot. They're not used to that. This time of year, they're usually used to competing for, if not the President's Trophy, definitely a division title. So, like I said, this is I like the side, and I have a side play up at SportsMemo, but I really liked this total too. I was kind of torn. Might end up playing both of them, but with the total, I like this over. 14 of the last 21 games for Buffalo have gone over the total. Pittsburgh, we've seen them go over 5 of their last 6, including 4 of their last 5 on the road. They've got a ton of injuries on defense. Like I said, we've seen them score goals again, but we've also seen them give up some goals. They gave up 4 against Philly outdoors, got shut out and gave up 4 against San Jose last week. So, and even giving up a couple of goals and almost gave up 3 or 4 goals possibly in that Columbus game. There were a lot of chances the Jackets missed. So I like the over here, but I also have a side play that's up at SportsMemo right now as well.
Andrew, 30 seconds or less. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I just have to go with the Penguins here. I think that in hockey especially, it's kind of the sport where you do see teams give their full effort every night, but this is the time of year where the teams that deserve to win really start, pulling things together. Buffalo loses of 6 of their last 7, and of course the Penguins won 8 of their last 9 in Buffalo. It's been impressive. I know it's a larger scale to look at, but it's like Alex said. I mean, this team is used to being higher in the standings. They're used to winning, and to be honest, I can't see the Penguins missing the playoffs, and these next couple games for them are very key. And I wouldn't really take this if they were massive favorites, guys, but like you said, Prez, minus 110, 120, I'll take it happily.
He's Alex B. Smith, the other guy who was just talking, Andrew McInnis. You can find him at sportsmemo.com. I'm the Prez, WagerTalk.com. And guys, head over to the website and use the promo code NHL35. 7 days of hockey plays for $35. And just to give you perspective, I've won 7 of my last 8 NHL cards. That's 7 of my last 8 NHL cards, and both of these dudes are rolling as well. And just to end on this Pittsburgh note, Andrew and Alex, they're actually out of the playoffs right now. Carolina just leapfrogged them. They are tied with Carolina, but I mean, Pittsburgh is in absolute must-win mode. So is Buffalo, but Buffalo's 8 points back with 4 teams to jump. That's very, very unlikely. But Pittsburgh literally has to go on a roll. And if you listeners out there think this Pittsburgh team is for real, Letang and Murray and Net and Crosby. I heard Lemieux might be coming back. Malkin. I mean, this team is players, man. Kessel, on and on and on. They've got to put a run down, and I think it starts tonight. Andrew, let's talk about the New Jersey Devils. Schneider and Net are hosting Philadelphia. The Flyers lost last night to Columbus 4-3. They're on a back-to-back tonight. And they're going into New Jersey. And look, New Jersey played Calgary really tough, lost 2-1. They did beat Montreal 2-1, and they are zigzagging. So, one could expect a real good effort by the Devils tonight. They're plus 110 all the way up to 117. The over and under is 6.5, which seems to be the over and under in almost every single game. New Jersey is out of it. 16 points out of the playoff position. Philadelphia, though, 6 points out of the playoff position with only 2 teams to leapfrog. Flyers are in absolute must-win mode. I don't think that matters. I think New Jersey gets it done here tonight, and I'll take the small dog.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I've been kind of doing this thing now, Prez, where it's kind of fade AHL teams. Fade the guys that aren't really NHL players. Fade the lower-class players, and this is what this New Jersey Devils lineup is bringing. You saw it last night when the Oilers played the Senators. I mean, they got absolutely, smashed versus the Leafs 2 nights ago. Last night they handled their business against a team they should beat. Now, if you look at this team, you've got 2 top scorers pretty much, plus Nico Hischier, Palmieri and Hall, both out with injury. I mean, the top line right now, to be honest with you, on the bottom lines, I can't even recognize some of these names. I mean, Bratt, Hischier, and Stafford are the top line for the Devils, and we've got Augustino and Zajac Coleman on the second line. I mean, Zajac hasn't been a great player in years, in my opinion. And then third line, I don't even know some of these guys, Prez. Honestly, I think looking at the team for Philadelphia, they've actually still have all-stars. They still have players that can score, and they still have defense. I mean, this New Jersey team giving a decent price here for Philadelphia. I'm going to continue to fade New Jersey anytime I'm getting a decent price on the opposition. I mean, right now at this point, you can tell which teams are sort of tanking, to be honest with you. And, I compare this team a lot to the Ottawa Senators. You look at it, their lineup is nowhere the same as it was 3-4 months ago. So if I get a decent line on Philadelphia, I'll take it.
Alex, I like the under in this game. Look, the New Jersey games right now, as Andrew said, they are struggling to score. They only put up 1 against Calgary, 2 against Montreal, 2 against the Rangers, 4 against Ottawa. Philadelphia, I mean, look, obviously last night's game went over the total. So did the game against Buffalo and Pittsburgh. But this is not a team that is lighting it up consistently. 6.5 seems a little big for me. I like the under. Any quick thoughts?
Yeah, I lean with the under too as well because this is the Flyers debut for Cam Talbot, which also makes now the 8th starting goalie for Philadelphia this season. He's actually played pretty well in his career against New Jersey. He's gone 5-2 with a 2.25 goals against and a .911 save percentage in 7 starts. And like you said, we've seen the under go cash in 4 of the last 6 for New Jersey. I can see this being a 2-1 or 3-2 game. Not going to be a whole lot of a chance, especially like I said, the New Jersey team that's kind of struggling to score. Might lean actually playing the under team total with New Jersey as well. You can get under 2.5 at plus 125.
I love it. He's Alex. I'm the Prez. Andrew is with us. Head over to both SportsMemo and WagerTalk. Buy our 7-day pass, guys. NHL 35. Alex, I think this is a great game. Washington on the road in the island. I don't know where the hell they're playing. Brooklyn, Nassau. I mean, with this team's, it's ridiculous. But anyway, here's what I know. The Islanders had about 6 orgasms last night. And normally your PP is a bit chafed after a 6-orgasm night. Not only that, but your hip flexors are probably sore. Your inner thigh might be aching. And if you play with your nipples, they're tired as well. Washington is the play. This is just a perfect spot for the Capitals. They're minus 110 on the road. The over and under in this game is 6. I can't see a team blow their load 12 times in 24 hours.
Yeah, I got to agree with you on that. It's a very vivid description that you just put there of a letdown spot. That's exactly what this is for the New York Islanders. This is a Washington team that's won 4 of the last 5 games. Even though they've struggled on the road, they've lost 6 of their last 9 on the road. Like you said, the Islanders, I mean, that was just a huge – they wanted to really shove it up to John Tavares, and that's exactly what they did with that blowout and the fans. They threw the plastic snakes on the ice and the whole bit. So I don't see that energy coming back around again. I think Washington gets the job done at a decent price on the road.
And the crazy thing is, and Andrew, I'll ask you about this game as well. The Toronto-New York Islanders game, from a team perspective, like versus each other, was pointless and irrelevant. This is a monster. I mean, you got Washington 2 points back on the New York Islanders, and that seed is gigantic. I mean, that seed is the difference of playing the mighty Columbus Blue Jackets potentially, or a team like Montreal. You would think that the New York Islanders would be able to get up for the spot, but again, hard to get up after 6 orgasms. Andrew?
Yeah, you're just shooting water at that point, Prez. I mean, I look at this one, and I think that you look at a defensive team and then a really offensive team like the Washington Capitals, and like you said, I mean, New York Islanders known to me as a defensive team, and they really, really kind of went off last night. They scored a lot of goals, a shorthanded goal, I believe. And, I don't always say letdown spots are a huge opportunity to bounce, but this is one I got to agree with you. The Capitals averaging almost 3.5 goals per game. New York, not even 3 goals. But just looking at the past several games here, for Washington, they've, that game against Ottawa, for example, they fell down 2-0 and they end up, scoring 7 straight goals and winning 7-2. Against New York, the previous game, they scored 6 goals. This team has no trouble scoring at all. And this is the thing. Barry Trotz, of course, as we all know, the former head coach, won the Stanley Cup with the Capitals. That'll be interesting, them playing each other. But I just don't think this Islanders team can compete with as fast of a team as Washington is, and they'll capitalize on any chance you give them. I think on back-to-backs, when you're tired, you take a lot of more stupid penalties. Don't send Washington on the power play. They're absolutely lethal.
Yeah.
And like you said, Prez, you kicked it off saying the price is good. You know, I talked about value a few days ago when I was on this with you guys. It's about value, and this is a good price for what it's worth, and I think the Caps get it done. I also like the under, though, guys. I mean, it's hard to take an under with the Capitals these days. I just think the Islanders will really, really try their best to slow things down. And, you know, something I like to say, what teams are trying to work on. Well, the Capitals need to work on, you know, preventing teams from entering their zone so easily.
Yeah. I had something I wanted to say, but I forgot. I got so caught up in your genius analysis. Oh, yes, I remembered. Why the hell doesn't someone on a penalty kill against Washington just sit a guy in Ovi's office? It's absolutely baffling.
Yeah.
This guy's been in the league for 100 years. Everybody knows exactly where he's going to stand. It makes no sense to me that they can't prevent him from scoring from that slot position. New York Rangers against Montreal tonight. Montreal on the road. Montreal is a short favorite at minus 133. The home team, the Rangers, are a pick'em. The total in this game is anywhere from 5.5 to 6. It's a little bit all over the board. You know, Montreal, these guys are a couple of losses away from falling out of playoff contention. They got Pittsburgh and Carolina right on their heels. The New York Rangers, 10 points out of playoff contention. They are done for the season. I look at this game, and we'll go to you, Andrew, first, and I struggle to see where the scoring is going to come from. I know the Rangers put up 3 and 5 in their last 2 games, but they did play 2 very fast teams in Tampa Bay and Washington. Montreal put up an 8 spot against Detroit, but that's Detroit. You know, I hate playing under 5.5s, but I think this game has got 2-1 written all over it.
I couldn't agree more. Prez, this brings you back to my game show, man. This brings you back to what I was saying about, you know, lower caliber teams, AHL style teams. Look at the guys on the bottom 2 lines for this team. Look at the top line: Chris Kreider, Zibanejad, and Jimmy Vesey. Is Vesey even that good? I mean, he scored the other night, but that's not going to make me think he's that good. You got to look at the fact that they just traded away 2 of their top 4 scorers in Matt Zuccarello and Hayes. And that's what we got to really realize after the deadline, which teams are going to be tanking, which teams are going to be, you know, getting better. And this team is absolutely worse. You got Ryan Strome centering the second line. To me, he's nothing special. He's been an absolute letdown for this team. And you look at the goaltending even. I really haven't been too impressed. Everyone says, I think it's either Georgiev or Gorgiev. I don't think he's been too impressive. I've been saying all year long that, you know, as much as he's a clean dresser, Prez, Henrik Lundqvist, I don't think he's the king anymore. And
I don't think he ever was the king, but
yeah. I don't think he is anymore. And like you said, I mean, I'll be the first to admit it. That loss that the Montreal Canadiens took to the Devils really worried me. It was the day after or the day of the trade deadline, and that was a real big, hey, Mark Bergevin, you should have woken up and actually done something for this team, but he didn't. And then the next night they came out and, you know, scored 8 goals. So I agree with you. I think the under, and I also think the Canadiens. But I like the under a lot. And in recent history, this is what these 2 teams are known for, is staying under the total, even in the playoffs.
I lost my trade. I lost the name of the guy who got fired as the GM from the Oilers. What was his name?
Chiarelli,
yeah. Chiarelli and Bergeron, 2 worst GMs in history of sport. Alex, any quick thoughts on this game?
I wouldn't say history of sport, because the Blackhawks had a guy named Mike Smith about 15 years ago that was horrendous. But
don't forget Garth Snow. I mean, Garth Snow had his moment.
Yeah. There's been some bad GMs over the years, but the only way I would look would be the under. Montreal has gone under 8 of their last 11 games on the road. Like I said, you know, if the Rangers score, and like I said, I would rather see Lundqvist in net than Georgiev. Georgiev's a AHL starter at best. He has no business being in the NHL, but with Henrik Lundqvist, he's, you know, had some bright games every now and then. I can see him having one here. If Rangers might win this one 3-1, but like I said, it still stays under. And like I said, shop around, because you've seen 5.5 and 6s. You can get a 6 at under $1.10. It's better than 5.5.
Guys, let's talk about this Carolina Hurricanes game. They are now in a playoff contention. Destiny is in their own hands. They're at home tonight, a minus 135 to 140, but they're playing St. Louis. Look, St. Louis has won 8 of their last 10 games and probably 18 of their last 20. They did lose their last 2 road games, 2-1 to Minnesota, 5-2 to Dallas, but they did get a point in that Minnesota game. The Canes are rolling, playing their best hockey of the season. They've won their last 3 games, including 2 on the road. They've won 6 of their last 7. I don't think I can take the Canes in this spot. I think the price is just not there for me. You know, a St. Louis Blues team, the hottest team in hockey, them and maybe the Sharks and the Bruins at plus number. Very hard to not take St. Louis here. But the bottom line for me is my bet, and I am going to bet on this game, is going to be under the total. Check this out. St. Louis beat Nashville 2-0, lost to Minnesota 2-1, but only one goal in regulation. Beat Boston 2-1, lost to Dallas 5-2, Toronto 3-2. They won. Then 3 shutouts in a row. I mean, this team is averaging under 2 goals a game in their last 8. Carolina is not a light-out team here. They put up 6 against the Kings. Before that, it was 3-4-1, 3-3. I think whoever wins this game, I think this has got 2-0, 3-1 written all over it. Alex, I'll go to you first. I don't know how you can't play the under here.
No, yeah, absolutely. Like I said, 7 the last 9 games for Carolina, and 1-7 the last 8 for St. Louis. Like I said, these two teams, the way they get things done is by controlling the puck. Puck possession, definitely not making any mistakes in the neutral zone, but they're very responsible in their own back end. That's something we didn't see from St. Louis early in the year, but they've definitely tightened things up defensively now. I would lean with Carolina on the side, but I kind of missed the boat on that. I could have got it at minus $1.15. I'm not going to play it at $1.30, $1.35. One key note for St. Louis, Alex Steen is questionable with the illness. I don't know if it's a flu bug going around, so that's something I might want to look at. David Perron also missed a few games. He's going to be expected to be out of this as well. So I like Carolina as a side, but I missed the boat on the price there, so I would just go with the under.
Andrew, 30 seconds or less. Did we lose Andrew? Andrew! Alex, can you hear? Can I hear
no,
you?
It froze. Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, Alex, Andrew, are you there?
Yeah, no.
Oh,
I got you. No, what I was going to say about this game, and Prez, I couldn't agree with you more about the recent history with the St. Louis Blues. I mean, the stats don't lie, but the thing is, a lot of that's been with Binnington in nets, right? Tonight, it's Jake Allen. He's likely in nets. We got Curtis McElhinney in nets for Carolina. So I'm not saying, hey, look, always fade the backup, but you look what we saw last night. Anderson always in nets for the Leafs. Go ahead and put it Sparks in last night against an Islanders team that doesn't score in high numbers. What happens is he gets absolutely lit up. You know, I'm not saying it's going to happen every time, but I think around this time you see a 5.5 total plus 100. You know, at a team like Carolina, desperate to make the playoffs, a team like St. Louis that still has players clicking right now. I get it. You know, I get it. Their past couple games have been 2-1, 3-1. I understand that, but you know, Carolina playing at home, they're a team that's so desperate right now. They've been playing some faster hockey than they're used to. You know, McElhinney's good, but McElhinney versus Jake Allen matchup, I'd go over 5.5, and I would lean Carolina. This is kind of more of a letdown spot, in my opinion, for St. Louis.
Alex, talk about a team that is in must-win mode right now, a team that isn't gelling, and a team that should be one of the best in all of hockey, the Winnipeg Jets. They've lost 2 in a row. They've lost 5 of their last 6 games. Some of those games were against teams like Arizona, Colorado. My God, they should be ashamed of themselves. They lost in OT versus Ottawa. Laine has not shown up since December. I don't know what the hell is going on in the Peg. They are hosting Nashville tonight. Nashville just came off of a 2-0 loss to St. Louis, but they aren't playing great either. We got the Winnipeg Jets at a pick'em at home. The total is 6. The bottom line for me is I think Nashville and Winnipeg are very evenly matched. I think if they played a playoff series, it will go to 7. I'm taking the home team here.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it here, too. I mean, we got 1 and 2 in the division separated by a point. You got Nashville top at 79 points. This is essentially, to them, I would think in both teams' minds, this game would determine who wins that division. Obviously, there's still more games to be played, but head-to-head makes a difference. And just momentum-wise with Winnipeg, I was on Winnipeg in that game. They completely blew the 2-1 lead, ended up losing to Minnesota. But this is a Nashville team that doesn't play that well on the road. They're only 8-16 the last 24 on the road. So if Winnipeg is going to step up and be a big-time contender, a big player in this Western Conference in this Central Division, they've got to beat Nashville at home tonight. Nashville's still taking some time as well to gel with some of their new pieces coming in, Granlund and Simmons. I think we're going to see, it's going to take a little bit more games before all that starts to combine together. But I like Winnipeg here in this spot. This is, like I said, must-win game for them.
Andrew, Winnipeg's 3 games have 3 games in hand on Nashville and only 1 point back. They can't waste this position right now. Any quick thoughts?
My only quick thoughts would be that I think that us 3 could talk about how disappointing this team has been. We could talk about it for half an hour. I mean, how many more All-Stars, how many more goal scorers do they need? I know they have 2 defensemen that are a little bit banged up, but what more do they need to be a successful hockey club? Because they're losing to teams, like you said, Prez, that they should not be losing to. So for me, I'm going to look at this one here. Their goal scorers aren't scoring. They're not playing the greatest defense, but I'm going to look at the under. In recent history with these 2 teams, the under has been the play. And Nashville, 4-0 to the under in their last 4 games. And, I think that this team here plays a better style of hockey when it's not, run and gun, when it's not a fast-paced type game. They want to just win. They go up 2-1. They've got this great 3 pairings on defense to shut things down. And they're also aggressive. They're physical. They have a smart coach. There's so many stats that really can prove it. I mean, I don't want to even go through all these. The under's 5-1 and Pred's last 6 is a favorite. They've just been going crazy with these unders, and I think that you look at a Winnipeg team. When are they really going to wake up? It's not going to be against the Predators, is what I'm trying to say. So I think this game goes under 6.
Couple more games and then we're done. Golden Knights in Anaheim. The Golden Knights are minus 180. There's even a minus 200 on the board. The total in this game is 5.5. I know Alex is going to play under the total on the team Anaheim. They've lost pretty much every game in a row. Vegas, they were on a losing streak, but they have won their last 2 games. They beat Florida in a shootout. They beat Dallas 4-1. I can't find a damn thing on this game. I mean, look, Vegas is way better than Anaheim. Anaheim is utter freaking garbage, but they are going to win some games along the way, and I just can't take minus 180 on the road with this Vegas Knights team. They just don't deserve a minus 180. I wouldn't take them if they were playing Ottawa at minus 180. The over and under in this game is 5.5. And the bottom line here is I'm not touching it, but I would take the under if a gun was held to my head.
I would be looking at the actual team total over with Vegas. You lay in a little bit of a price at minus 155, but only 2.5 goals. We've seen, like I said, this is the one thing that Vegas really has to get rolling if they're going to be a playoff team and going to be a contending playoff team is to score offensive, get some goals, but get consistent offense going. And they've done that in the last 3 games. They got to continue that, and this is a good team to do it against in Anaheim. Like I said, they've been on just a miserable losing streak. They're just trying to play the string out at this point. But I can see 3 or 4 goals here from Vegas. So I like that team total over 2.5.
Andrew, quickly, what are your thoughts?
I agree with you, Prez, the fact that the Ducks have been so disappointing. They can't score. They can't throw a beach ball in the ocean right now. But like you said, at some point...
By the way, that's a very bad analogy because the wind carries the beach ball, and it's actually a lot harder than you think. I don't know if you've ever tried it, but more often than not, it just comes back right to you on the beach.
Beach balls are big and the ocean's big, so that's pretty, But anyway, this team it's one of those things for me where I look at Ottawa. And I said about them how now you trade away some key guys for them, I think they'll become more of an under team. Now Vegas, they picked up Stone, and they've got such more of a aggressive top six, I might use the words. So to me, they're going to be more of an over team. And the Ducks, it seems to me that as much as we've said, hey, they're slow, they have been picking it up. I've been noticing. They've actually been on the rush a little bit more, and they've been getting more shots on net.
Andrew's been watching you.
5.5 over the total. I think it's just that's the play. That's the play. And Prez, you always freak me out when you go right into your mic like this.
Andrew has been watching.
It just goes. Hey,
San Jose Sharks, Andrew. They're hosting the Colorado Avalanche. Oh, man, San Jose. Geez, this team could be the Stanley Cup champions. The where they're playing right now. They got 82 points on the season. Colorado in absolute must-win mode. Them, Dallas, and Minnesota 1 point apart, all with the same amount of games played. But Colorado is the one sitting outside looking in. They got to win this game. I just don't know how they will. San Jose, look, they're zigzagging a little right now. You go back 7 games, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, and the last one was a loss to Boston. They're just coming home from a 4-game road trip. And we've spoken about this many times. This is one of the toughest spots in hockey, that first game back from a long road trip. They are favored anywhere from minus 161 up to 190. The total in this game is 6.5. Colorado is playing well, boys. They just beat Vancouver. And they have won 5 of their last 6 games. I'd like to play San Jose here. I'm concerned because it's their first game back from a long road trip. If I had to touch this game, I would take San Jose in regulation. But lucky for me, I don't. Andrew?
For me, I'll continue to say what I've been saying all year long. This San Jose team, for the amount of talent they have on defense, they don't really show it. They don't look like they do. I mean, they pick up Carlson, definitely not for defense, that's for sure. I mean, they're one of the more trending over teams in the league right now, and I used to love taking them on unders, guys.
They've gone under 3 of their last 4 games and 5 of their last 7, and they have started to play slightly better defense, slightly.
But, I mean, looking at the matchup against Colorado, I just think, and like you said, going back home, this is a team that I don't trust to really, keep in a defensive game, I'll be honest with you. And Colorado is not something to kind of feel comfortable with as far as defense either. So don't be afraid of 6.5, guys. Anyone out there, 6.5 aren't something to be afraid of. I mean, it's still just 7 goals. I think it could happen tonight. I think these two teams put a lot of goals in the net.
I'm reading a book, and I'll tell you, be afraid of the gray man. Alex, what are your thoughts?
Only way I would look here would be the over as well. And 9 of the last 11 meetings have gone over. I was on the under with Colorado, Vancouver, and that game could have easily gone way over the total. I got lucky with that one. But we've seen Colorado go over 12 of the last 17 on the road. This is just, like I said, San Jose needs to get their offense rolling a little bit more. Colorado, like I said, they're in a dogfight for that wild card spot. I can see this being a 4-3, 5-3 kind of game. So I slightly lean with the over.
He's Andrew, he's Alex, I'm the Prez. Puck time for the week over. Make sure to watch Morning Joe, guys. It's Marco and I. Probably the best show of the week. Marco and I just basically make fun of each other for 20 straight minutes. Boys, have a great weekend. Andrew, I hope you get laid this weekend. Alex, keep drinking the Coke. And I will for sure be getting a whole lot of action. We'll come back Monday with some sex metaphors, and we'll see you then. Later, boys.
See ya.